So, good evening, Bobby. I'm here to conduct an interview for my interviewing class where we're to interview someone who works and lives in Oneonta, but I actually got the green light to interview someone who lives and works in Binghamton. This interview will only be about 15 minutes long, and it's going to entail questions related to your experience and how you help out the Black Bears. And are you comfortable with me filming?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Excited to be here.
So, just for reference, the Black Bears boast a record of 33-4, the best in the FPHL, and they're currently on a 17-game heater, which is by far the best any team has had this season. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing Bobby Gross, Director of Ticketing as well as Merchandising, who the Black Bear faithful are so fond of for his excellent performance and personal demeanor. I'd like to start some questions with ticketing and what's it like working with Ticketmaster?
So Ticketmaster is used by both us and we're the secondary box office at the arena. It's also used by the primary box office downstairs. So we actually, because of how much we actually do with them, we get a lot better of a relationship with them. We have a pretty close relationship with our rep. So working with them is always great. The system itself is very easy. We're linked through Ticketmaster online, through our office, through downstairs. We're able to kind of build off of that pretty easily. And as far as the customer service and all that, it's really easy. And then as far as the actual process of it, we have a really easy system this year. Point and click is literally what it's called. So that describes pretty much everything for it. We're able to pick the seats, pick the ticket type, change pricing, adjust pricing based on individual tickets, and basically use the whole map. So Ticketmaster, it's a really easy system for us, and I know it's easy for the fans, whether it be calling in, stopping by, or using the website. So yeah.
So you actually touched on my next question with group ticketing. What do some of those rates look like, and are there exclusive discounts for maybe veterans or police officers, corporate workers? I know we had a corporate night, business.
Yeah. So as far as our rates go, we have our standard rate. We do a day of game ticket as well, which is a special rate. We have groups. We start at 10 people or more to a single game. The group rate is roughly $12 to $14 at a regular rate. If you get to our higher group prices, it ends up being 10 to 12. And then you touched on our regular discount rate. We have just a catch-all discount rate. We label it as veterans, seniors, first responders, and basically etc. At the end of that. If it's something that we feel qualifies for the rate, we just give it a go. So that's kind of one we throw in. We've had somebody say they work at a school as a janitor, and does it count as education? And it leads to some easy interactions with the customers, because that's kind of one of our main focuses, is just trying to make them feel like there's, it's their team. We're here because of them, so we always try to give back to them any way we can. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the groups and the discounts.
That's awesome. And another thing I wanted to touch on was the benefits and perks that some of the fans are offered within ticketing. I know some of the promotions where they get a $5 coupon and they were able to spend it at a concession stand, or how some of that maybe works for.
Yeah, so the group rates and some of our promotional nights, we try to vary it up a little. All of them start with just the basic, ticket deal. Save some money, which is always good. Depending on the night, or if it's sponsored, or if it's through the county, because we work pretty closely with them as a county building, we'll do promotions, whether it be giveaways of items. We've done pins. We've done rally towels. We've done, we're going to do some foam bear claws this season. So we do stuff like that. And then we also work pretty closely with our vending people. They're at American Food and Vending. They're a third party. So we work pretty closely with them, and we do those coupons like you had said. We do them $5 to $10 coupons to any of the concession stands. Some places will set up a specific deal like hot dog, soda, fries, and it'll be through one stand, but We offer food deals, ticket deals, giveaways. Sometimes we'll do stuff pregame or postgame, like a pregame high five tunnel for a group where they're able to come out for warm ups through the little high five tunnel. Postgame, we do like pictures on the ice, things like that, just to kind of give the experience a little bit of a boost. Anything to make it memorable.
Yeah.
More memorable it is, better for us. So, yeah.
That's another huge thing because I know you, Trevor, all the guys, we're all in the office, and you guys especially, you're taking phone calls about, getting on the Zamboni, or like you have like the different groups coming in from schools and stuff. It's really lovely to hear that you guys do that.
Yeah.
And do you think that after winning the championship, like have you noticed from a ticketing standpoint that like your margins have changed or the demand? I know I heard from one of the guys, Josh, who does our video. He said that, it's usually like a, slow February, or like it's hard to sell out and pack out the stadium. And, looking at the Black Bears this year, they've already clinched, and now it's sellouts every weekend. It's ridiculous. Have you noticed that since the championship that those margins have changed?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, during the run before we had even won last season, we had a huge influx. We swept the first round, swept the second round.
Yeah.
And a lot of that gave us a big boost towards season ticket sales specifically at that time, just because that's what we open with. We'll end the season with the season ticket sales, schedule release in the middle of the summer, and that's when we start doing the single game tickets and the group tickets. But season ticket wise, during the championship run, huge boost. Also a big boost when going down to Carolina, winning both games, only needed 1 in 3 that whole week. Tons of ticket sales for that game, tons of ticket sales for seasons for the next season. So it was a good boost there. And then in season, we've felt it as well. It's our biggest thing the whole time has just been name recognition, getting the word out there, getting the schedule out there, letting people know when games are, and then convincing them. So we've had a big boost this year. A lot more people know who the Black Bears are. The news has helped with that. We work closely with a lot of news outlets, and they've been great for building awareness for the brand. But yeah, no, winning cures all. It's no secret in sports. It's been great that we've been able to compete for division titles and have some success in the playoffs, being such a young franchise. But yeah, it's been really, really helpful for us. It's a big weight off our shoulders when we don't have to convince them that, not convince them, but first show them that we're the hockey team in town, and then also try to set them up with a night and seats they like and all that fun stuff. So
Absolutely.
It covers the first step.
And another thing I was curious is because whenever I am in this office, I hear, Bobby, where's Bobby? Someone's on the phone asking for Bobby. So something I was curious is, do you find it to be, as far as the ticketing, more stressful on like later in the week, like right before like game day, or like the day before game day, or like earlier in the week when it's like people want to do, the season tickets, or they want to, figure out like, can I get this section? What part of your week do you find more stressful?
I would say it's definitely the one that's like closer to the game days. Will just be a little bit more stressful, I would say, just from the fact that the phones will be ringing a lot more people are stopping by on Fridays are a big day for people physically in the office for us. A lot of people either come right before or right after they leave work, or they'll stop on their lunch break, and we usually have a big influx on Fridays. So that's usually the most stressful time, is when there's a line out the door and 3 or 4 people on the phone, and then it starts to crunch you a little bit. I think we do a good job of understanding. It's just the nature of it. It's a busy lunch rush. A lot of businesses will experience that, and I think a lot of our fans are very understanding about that. That there's a million people in line and the phones are ringing off the hook. They have a little bit more patience with us, knowing that we've gotten them their tickets quickly when they get up to the desk, and so we've built a good, I guess, relationship with the fans on that. So that helps a lot. But I would definitely say it's a little stressful sometimes.
It may be stressful all the time. It's like I said, it's always where's Bobby? How's Bobby doing? What's Bobby doing? Can he help me? But I wanted to move into my next point, which is merchandising. And I was curious if you could tell us and my class about some of the fun new merchandise you guys have brought to the show.
Yeah, so we focus on, for our merchandise, we don't focus on keeping like a general stock of specific items throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
We like to do just small batch orders of a lot of stuff. We like to be creative with the merchandise just to kind of keep options open for a lot of our fans. We thankfully, like I said, the fans drive a lot of the stuff for us, and they're very consistent. They check back every game just to see if there's something new, and we've just found that like doing stuff like that helps, hit different tastes, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, merchandise comes down to clothing choices. That's pretty arbitrary.
Yeah.
A lot of people think one person loves this, one person hates it, and so that's pretty exciting for us. I know our designer likes the freedom of just kind of finding something online or getting inspiration from something he saw that might not. Maybe he saw a billboard that had a cool font, and we build off like that. As far as specifics go, we're pretty excited. We end the year every year with a throwback night. We have a rotation of 3 of the former teams that were in this arena that had played at various levels, UHL, AHL, all that fun stuff. And this, as our final year in the quote-unquote cycle of the 3 teams, we're actually really excited. We're bringing in T-shirts and hoodies for all 3 teams.
Wow.
Super excited for that. They're a bit old school in the design, so I'm very interested to see how they come out when we get them back from our print shops, and excited to see how the fans handle that. Last time we had done any of the Binghamton Whalers merchandise, we sold out in about 5 minutes.
Wow.
So I got many, not angry, but a bit annoyed people stopping by telling me that we might have ordered too few items at certain sizes, but yeah, we're excited to bring all that back. So I'd say that's the specific stuff, but generally it's just we try to keep it fun.
So this is kind of a loaded question to ask. Have you seen a promotion do better than anticipated? And from my own experience, what I've witnessed, whether it was the Superman auction or the Snoopy jerseys or the 3 Stooges on the hoodie, it's every piece like that I see goes and flies. Which one, if you had to choose? I mean, I'm sure the throwbacks, we're yet to see. Those will probably fly off too. But is there any that you've noticed that did better than expected?
I would say like I said, the Whalers one from, I believe that was 2 years ago at this point. So the Whalers one had gone much better than expected. I think that was a combo of not only it looking nice, the design was good. It was we got a little bit higher quality of material as far as the hoodies and the shirts went, and then that was also the fans. The nostalgia kind of took over. I think they were pretty excited to see that come back. But the Snoopy ones, that was our Charlie Brown Christmas, which we hadn't really expected. We hadn't thought it was going to be a lower end one, but we weren't thinking of it as anything out of the ordinary. And the reception was so impressive just from our release, from our social media release, that we actually switched up our process and we tested out a pre-order for that, and that exploded, and half the guys on the roster ordered one. There was that one, I would say, gave me the biggest culture shock, I guess, of we haven't had merchandise behave like that before. So I'd say it's definitely that Charlie Brown Christmas one, but the Whalers ones I'd say is a close second.
Gotcha. And when people forget the actual setting up of the stand or what happens behind the scene with the print companies, what are your goals or priorities as far as we understand not everything could be perfect, even though it may appear perfect to the fans. So what are you really looking at to get done when you're texting these print companies? I need something like this, or even when you're setting up the shop on game days, like we need to make sure it's presented in a certain way so our fans could have an experience and see like what are your main priorities when setting up and ordering?
So, ordering wise, like I said, variety is what we try to thrive on.
Mm-hmm.
Is I am very focused on the materials and the colors at the start, just having a balance of, sounds boring, but like full cotton, 50/50, maybe like a polyester, like trying to figure out the blends and stuff and making sure that there's a balance of that. And, thankfully, we've built up a nice database as far as like we know that certain materials and certain styles don't sell well at this size, keeping that information in mind and just balancing it out that way. As far as the game day goes and the physical setup of the stand, we always try to focus on the flow of how easy is it for someone to find something? How easy is it for them to move through the entire stand and check each rack? Because that's the main objective of a lot of the fans that end up showing up for the games. We don't have as many people like checking out our website and coming in knowing exactly what they want. It's a lot more focused on allowing browsing of our merchandise, and then we like to keep it pretty organized as far as like we have like t-shirts all in one spot. We like to keep the long sleeves away from those. We like to keep the hoodies here and the crew necks here. We try to keep like layers kind of near each other as well. So maybe I don't like the 3 designs I have in a hoodie, but I see a crew neck, it's still an outerwear. I might like that better, and it kind of helps them focus in on the exact item they want. So that's kind of the focus of like the regular setup on game day.
Gotcha. And I kind of want to move in a little bit about more of Bobby Gross and his experience when he was young, once a young Padawan like me in college, figuring it out. Yeah. I was curious, where'd you go to college and what did you study?
So I went to Lemoyne College.
Okay.
It's up in Syracuse. It's probably 2 minutes from Syracuse's main campus. And my mother actually went there, so shout out, Mom. But I studied business management, so that was kind of a general business degree at Lemoyne. I had a few management classes, but it was a lot lighter as far as the major classes, and it gave me the flexibility to kind of pick and choose what I wanted to go through in the business school. My main focus within the business school was management and marketing. That was the majority of my studies. But yeah, it was business management up at Lemoyne.
So can you go on a little bit just about how you experienced those business classes and how it catapulted you into the sports realm? Like, were you big into playing high school sports, college sports, even like intramural?
Yeah. Sports are probably, I'd call it an obsession.
Yeah.
Probably not the best, but it happens. So yeah, I mean, as far as the classes, I did have the benefit of a few of my professors were, a bit more focused towards the sporting world and not as much towards general business, or they gave me enough flexibility where I could turn it into something that I cared about within the sports world. So I was able to benefit from that with school. As far as anything outside of that, clubs and that, I played plenty of intramural sports. We were, I think we were 3-time reigning champs in intramural volleyball, which is, I've still got those T-shirts somewhere at my house. Played the club lacrosse up there as well.
Wow. Probably
spent too many hours at the gym playing basketball. So I had a heavy focus on sports there.
Yeah.
I was buddies with a lot of the guys that worked for a lot of the teams. So I would end up, talking to them about that. I met with a lot of people in the basketball program. Unfortunately, right before COVID, to work out, I almost worked with the basketball program. All that kind of took a hit during my interview process for that. But I tried to focus on the sports side of things pretty much everywhere I went.
Got it. That actually segues perfectly into my next question, which when you were in college, did you work or intern anywhere, or even post grad? Like, what were you doing straight out of school?
So, in college, it was like I said, didn't end up getting with the basketball team at any point, but went through a bit of that process, which was a cool learning experience. I was also, I actually forgot about that. I was in we had a sports management club as well, which unfortunately COVID kind of ended the club just due to the funding getting moved around and all that fun stuff. And then right out of college, I spent I think 2 weeks out of school and I started right up here.
Wow.
So I did not have much of a break. I interviewed for this job while on a quote unquote vacation with a couple of my friends from college. We made our own little senior trip, and I actually had to take a phone call at one point and interview for here. So I stepped right into this. I was thankfully met with I'd call him one of my mentors. His name's Charlie Watkins. He was our GM at the time.
Okay.
He currently is a GM for the Motor City Rockers, I believe, in this league.
Okay.
Charlie was here, and he gave us a good crash course on the sports world, the hockey world, this league specifically. He was a huge help and a huge tool for us in growing the team at the start. But yeah, as far as experience, I was kind of thrown to the wolves right out of school. Obviously, like I said, COVID had a bit of an influence on that of just kind of throwing things sideways. But yeah, that's kind of it.
And now looking at where you are today, I mean, director of merchandising and ticketing, do you still keep in contact with your mentor, Charlie, and talk to him about some of the aspects, especially if he's in the same league?
Yeah, Charlie called us the other day just to tell us about they had a bit of a switch up in the hierarchy over at the team he's working for, and we were just going over some of the stuff that was happening there, spitballing some ideas, all that fun stuff. Yeah, we love talking to Charlie. Charlie, he'll answer the call at any time. He is willing to talk about anything and everything. He's done everything. He's succeeded and failed in every way. So he's just a great person to bounce things off of, because even if his suggestion won't work for you now, it might work later, or there's, just things you can work out with him. So yeah, I love talking to Charlie. Talk to him to this day.
That's awesome. Well, I think our time is probably well up by now. I just wanted to thank you for, taking the time to sit down and interview. And, guys, this is Director of Ticketing and Merchandising, Bobby Gross, which I had the pleasure of interviewing, as well as one of my bosses. So thank you for your time.
Absolutely.